It's Giants week here in Berea. The Browns will host the New York Giants on Sunday at Huntington Bank Field. Mary Kay, we'll start with some injury news. Myles Garrett did not practice today, and Kevin Stefanski said David Njoku is unlikely to play on Sunday. So those are, of course, two big names to keep an eye on. Myles probably will play, but no David Njoku likely.
That's right. As we know, Myles Garrett was somewhat limited during the Jaguars game with a foot injury. We think that's going to be bothering him for a while, but he said he's going to downplay it and play through it. We know he plays injured. As far as David Njoku is concerned, he's got this ankle injury. I was told in the very beginning he would probably be out at least a couple of weeks. That's proving to be true, so he will miss this Giants game, and hopefully for the Browns, he will be back next week.
And Ashley, we've talked about it, these high ankle sprains, they can be difficult if that's actually what it is. And of course with Myles, yes, he's going to play through it, but we even saw on Sunday that it was affecting him.
Yeah, on Sunday, I know you guys talked about him massaging that foot on the sidelines when he came out. We know he hasn't played, obviously, every snap. Now, they rotate those guys, but in each game now, I think it's been just over 60% of the defensive snaps that he's been in for. Still one of the most played guys on that D-line. But I do think with the position and obviously how he has to line up, what he's so good at, which is his bend, using his speed, your foot's obviously pretty important for that. So it's going to depend on how much it's bothering him. And yeah, those high ankle sprains, as far as David is concerned, we know worst case scenario, those can take 4 to 6 weeks to heal fully. And they really only heal fully if you stay off of them. There's no coming back early necessarily from a high ankle sprain, if that is in fact what he has.
Okay, more injury news. This is what we talk about. It feels like every day of every week for the last 3 weeks, but it is relevant because it is one of the most important positions on the field, and that is tackle. So here's where we stand right now. Dawand Jones did not practice today. His knee that he had surgically repaired was sore. He thinks he's going to return to practice this week and said he plans to play on Sunday. Jack Conklin, not a whole lot new to report. He continues to progress. Jedrick Wills practiced today. So, Mary Kay, that's where we are with the tackle situation. Some progress, but no specific answers yet.
Right. The whole Dawand Jones knee thing throws a monkey wrench into the plan because they were having a tough enough time getting left tackle accomplished. James Hudson's been starting over there, and he had a little bit of a rough game against the Jaguars, and the Browns have been hoping that maybe Jack can slide in there a little bit, maybe play some third downs, and that maybe Jed is working his way back as well. Now you have to worry about Dawand a little bit over on the other side. So hopefully for the Browns, they'll have all of these 4 guys available at some point soon, at least 3 of them this weekend, and they will be able to get the job done.
And Ashley, it feels like when you kind of look at the way the Browns have managed this roster, managed practice squad elevations, it seems like they've always felt like these guys will all be back, or most of these guys will be back soon, but it's really just a matter of it actually happening now.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like with the way they're waiting to elevate guys and things like that, that maybe some of it is really like Saturday. They're deciding and seeing how, specifically with Jack Conklin and the way he's been talking kind of in those terms, like I wonder if he's the one that there still is that kind of day-to-day truly question mark for. But it's tough. I mean, we talked to all 3 of those guys today. I think we even joked with them. Are you guys getting sick of being the stars in the open locker room portion where we're in there and get to interview people? But Dawand was the most adamant of the 3 that he will play, and then the other 2 were essentially like, we'll see, and that they're going to continue to progress day to day and do what the medical staff tells them to do.
Okay, Deshaun Watson spoke today. Obviously, much easier circumstances for him to speak today than last week, especially because he played very well against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We saw some flashes here and there of that old Deshaun Watson. Mary Kay, what stood out to you from what Deshaun had to say?
Well, I wanted to dig in a little bit into that 3rd and 6 at the end of the game that could have cost them the game. I asked him, what did you see on that play? And he said, I saw a touchdown. And I think that's part of what you have to go through with Deshaun Watson. He's an instinctive player. He said today, he was trying not to give the name at first. He said a coach told him, always follow your instincts. I asked him who that was. He said Bill O'Brien. And he said Bill O'Brien taught him to really go with his gut in those kinds of situations. And that's what he did. So I think you have to sometimes take the good with the bad. Usually the good outweighs the bad when he's making those off-schedule plays. But he might give Kevin Stefanski a few more gray hairs in that beard.
Yeah, that was one of the things, Kevin Stefanski setting up that play for said Tillman. It looked like it was there, but Josh Hines-Allen was able to blow it up. And Ashley, the reality is when you ask Deshaun Watson to just take a sack, when you ask Deshaun Watson to just give up on a play, that's a tough ask for a guy like that. So I'm not surprised that in the heat of the moment, maybe he didn't make the best decision.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's going to try to hold on to a play as long as he can if, like Barry Kay said, he thinks his instincts are telling him, hey, there's a chance for an explosive play or there's a chance for us to score here. I think what's been unfortunate so far is, again, the last 2 weeks, they really haven't been able to get into that groove with making explosive pass plays. Those instincts haven't necessarily worked these first 2 weeks as they kind of all get a handle on this new offense, and as they had some major protection issues in week 1 specifically. So it's just the kind of quarterback he is, though. I think that's just part of having Deshaun Watson as your starting quarterback.
Okay, we'll have full coverage of today and, of course, every day leading up to this Giants game at home at cleveland.com/Browns.